Today I'm also worrying myself. So today we're going to be talking about sinning, committing a sin. In my head, I was like, are we that brainwashed and gone to an extent that we think that it's either I go with your belief or nothing? And especially if that belief was actually imposed on you. It's not like you woke up and was like, this is what resonates with me before anybody told you anything about it. She said, my child, nothing in this world is a demon. As long as these people are speaking light unto the world, it means they're not demonic. And I do not blame those people who think that their religion are superior than the other religion, because it's what you are literally fed. Because doing the deed for pleasure is actually their initial sin. Before we even get to termination, we've already committed a sin. Hello, elements. I hope you guys are good. It's a Friday once again. I'm at the park. It's actually 9 a.m. in the morning. I just came straight to the park. I couldn't make waffle today because I'm actually incurring a loss. So I'm actually trying to change my approach from waffles to something else so that I can actually have something to make one day. But then for now, I'm actually brainstorming on what to do next. Taking a pause and restarting. So it's a Friday once again. I'm at the park to bring forth some wisdom, acquired wisdom. And today I'm also worrying myself for the story behind. Do check me out on all social media platforms. It's Pumpkin Recycles on all social media platforms. Right, so today we're going to be talking about sinning, committing a sin. So this week has been so crazy. I learned a lot of things. I discovered a lot of things, and it's actually been a learning curve indeed. I discovered a guy called Ralph Smart. Please do check him out. He's actually wise. He resonates with my soul so well. Things he talks about is either I had thought of them or actually said them out loud in my previous videos, and some of them I'm actually in the process of thinking about them and actually making videos about them. So I'm like, oh my god, who is this guy? And imagine he's not even in these parts of the world. He's overseas, but then we speak and have the same language. We vibrate on the same frequency. So do check him out, Ralph Smart. And I was actually recommended, and somebody recommended a book to me. It's called The Celestine Prophecy. Please read that book. If you're a light worker and actually a person who seeks to find truth and spirituality, The Celestine Prophecy is the book for you. So I also discovered that I'm an indigo soul. So apparently most babies born in the 90s are indigo souls and all that, but then I'm still going to do my research on it and then come back to you. Maybe we're going to have a video about it when I have much information about it. But for now, that's what I discovered, and all the symptoms relayed in line with indigo children, I have them and more. So yeah, apparently I'm an indigo soul. And I also had my first comment on YouTube this week. So woohoo! And I've been getting a lot of feedback. I really appreciate you. Thank you. It doesn't go unnoticed. So today we're going to be talking about sinning, committing a sin. Right. So I actually I got a message from somebody who watched my videos, and apparently it is wrong for a human being. It's a societal norm and standard that a person shouldn't talk of these different religious beliefs as if they are one. So I'm here to firstly apologize on that. I actually didn't know that, so it will never happen again. And I actually learned that these people, I will not put them under one umbrella. But then apparently this person was under a certain religion, and she came to me and said I should not speak of her religion as if it's the same with another religion, because it's not the same. Her religion is the religion, it's the superior religion. The others are just demons. It's either you choose her religion or you're doomed for life, right? So in my heart and head, I was like, okay, I'm sorry for combining them into one, but then I am not sorry for thinking that they are actually doing the same thing. And she went on to say that I should choose a religion because it's actually a demonic sign, or I'm inviting evil by not having a religion, by being spiritual, because it's either you have a religion or you are doomed for life, right? So in my head, I was like, are we that brainwashed and gone to an extent that we think that it's either I go with your belief or nothing? And especially if that belief was actually imposed on you, it's not like you woke up and was like, this is what resonates with me, before anybody told you anything about it. Just like with me, this spirituality thing was a thing that just came onto me, right? And I was like, this exactly, nobody told me about this. Literally, nobody told me about this. I think I diverted from Christianity. I think I was 9. I was 9 years old. Yeah, I was in grade 6. I remember very well. So who can actually plant such a seed in a 9-year-old child? Imagine, my life was totally Christian. Everything around me and everything I did, touched, smelled, and ate was Christianity. There was no internet. There was not that kind of internet, informative internet during those times in my country. Yeah, I had a phone which was connected to the a smartphone-ish, but then I used it to play games and download music and wallpapers. That was what fascinated me those days, games and wallpapers, right? It was 2006. It was 2006. So imagine during that era in my country, how off this thing actually is. Okay, I'm recording this, as you have seen his left. I'm recording this immediately after. If you'd carefully look at my expression before ending the first video, I was actually seeing him. My instinct said, it was like, go to him, this man has answers, right? So I went to him, and then he said, he gave us that information. So I was saying, this thing came to me when I was in grade, it was 2006. I was 9 years old. Yeah, I was in grade 5, 6. Yeah. I started questioning my religion as to what is happening, why is this and why is that, and I never got answers, right? So that's when I went on to search for answers. Imagine, I was a 9-year-old child. I didn't find any answers because I didn't have anyone who knew anything about other religions except my books, the religious education books. We had these different religions, but then I was also raised that these other religions were demons. Luckily, my mom was a religious education teacher, and she's actually the one who actually pulled the trigger on me. She said, "My child, nothing in this world is a demon. As long as these people are speaking light unto the world, it means they're not demonic," right? That's when I was like, oh, I'm not crazy then to question this thing, right? So I started exploring. I really love the subject religious education, so I was a top student in my time, but then with religious education it was really, really the ish for me. So that's how it got triggered. And then as I grew up, I actually visited these people, different religions, actually sat down with them and actually understood them, right? So and then it got to me that nobody's actually a sinner here. Everybody is actually expressing their love for God in different ways. But then how did this thing of labeling the other a demon come about, right? So I've always had that question, and Babesh Habangu here actually opened my mind a little bit. He opened it a little bit. I still have questions, but somehow he's also pulled the trigger like my mom did. So now I know how this thing started, and I do not blame those people who think that their religion are superior than the other religion, because it's what you are literally fed. It's what your ego has been built around. So I do not blame you, right? And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's good that you are grounded onto something. You will find peace and you will find sanity, right? I'm really happy for you. But then do not demonize the next person, because you do not know what his or her religion has done for him or her, right? Just stay in your lane and appreciate what is happening for you and to you, but not demonize the other, right? You will not get hurt or be crumpled upon for just staying in your lane and not demonizing the next person. Nothing will happen to you for just staying in your lane, right? So that's what I'm saying. So today, the main things I want to talk about was sinning. That as people who have turned to a part whereby we think that what we are doing is not is perfect, and what the next person is doing is wrong, right? For example, there's this thing going about termination of pregnancies, that termination of pregnancy shouldn't be done, it's a wrong thing to do, it's a sin. My question is it a sin because now the bigger multicellular organism is being terminated, or it actually starts from way back? Because God, the universe, the energy's main aim for doing the deed was for reproduction purposes, but then now we're doing it for fun. Isn't that the initial sin? Why are we jumping off to the end product, labeling the end product as a sin and skipping the previous sins, the initial sins? Because doing the deed for pleasure is actually the sin, the initial sin. Before we even get to termination, we've already committed a sin, right? Moving on, using contraceptives, the pill, protection, the rubber, and any other form of contraceptive is a sin, because you're actually not giving the organism a chance to survive. It's already an organism, so give it a chance to survive. The fact that you're not giving it a chance to survive, you're committing a sin, you're committing murder already, right? But then we're not acknowledging that kind of sin too. We're too fast to judge the abortion sin, right? By the time it gets to abortion, we've already committed the sin from way back. So why not acknowledge the other sins too? Why jump to the latter sin? No, I'm not saying abortion is right or abortion is wrong. I'm just saying let's stop labeling things as if we're saints, as if we haven't done sins. Because a sin is a sin. It doesn't matter if the organism is now multicellular or unicellular. Who is actually writing down these terms and conditions that, oh, it's actually a sin or it's actually murder when the cells are now multicellular, right? Who Do we even know that an egg is not a soul? Do we even know that sperm is not a soul? What if it is because it has carbon? So it means that killing that unicellular organism is actually a big of a sin, as is abortion. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or what is what. I'm just saying let's quit labeling things as sins and unsins just because we want to justify our actions. Coming to this thing of vegan, going vegan and doing this and this, vegan this, vegan that, and meat lovers are going to hell because they are killing animals. I'm also coming after those because, in as much as an animal is a living being, a tree is too. A tree also bleeds. You cut down a tree, it bleeds. Just because it doesn't bleed red doesn't mean that its blood is not relevant or is not as important. It also bleeds. So, vegan people are as much of sinners as omnivores or omnivorous people are. All of these categories are killers. They are killing as some sort of a soul to feed themselves. Yes, we all need the energy to survive. I will talk about energy in my other video. But then, what is supposed to happen? I'm not saying that we should do this. Again, I am not a guru nor a god. I'm just a person who receives information from the spiritual realm and relays it to you as is. Whether you like me for this or not, I do not care. I'm just relaying information. I really don't care, bro. I really don't care. Just listen. If it doesn't resonate with you, ignore it. And if it resonates with you, then take it. Okay? Exactly. What I'm saying is, what was supposed to be done was, like a tree does. A tree produces a seed, and then the seed turns into a fruit, right? So, if you notice this, that when you pick a fruit from a tree, the tree bleeds because it's said you're separating it from its child unwillingly, right? But then we don't care because they're trees, right? According to humanity, they're not as alive as animals are, right? So, what I'm saying is, apparently what is supposed to happen is, I'll talk about energy in my other videos. Apparently, an organism is supposed to give out its energy willingly to the next organism, right? But then we're doing it the wrong way. We're actually killing, we're actually taking. So, what is supposed to happen is a tree or whatever vegetation is supposed to let go willingly of this energy. A tree is supposed to drop its fruit. Then you can take it from the ground and ingest it. Because human beings are the ground. Humans, humus, soil, right? So when this thing drops on the ground, it means that it's dropping for humus. It's dropping for humans. It's dropping for ingestion. Flesh is humus. Hence the name humans, right? From humus, from soil. It means that this thing is actually giving its energy back to the soil. The tree dropped the fruit to the soil, meaning I'm giving back to the soil. That's when the organisms that are made of humus can then take, because we're actually given now willingly by the tree. Then that's when you can ingest that energy. I will talk of energy in one of my videos, that these energies we take forcefully from other organisms actually bring us negative karma. But then it's for another video. Let me not confuse you for now. And then with animals too, if you need flesh or proteins from flesh, what you need to do is you have to let the animal die on its own. But then now we're like, but then I cannot eat a dead thing, it's bad karma. Actually, it's quite the opposite. An animal is supposed to die. When animals die, it lays on the soil, on the ground. It lays on the ground, meaning that I'm giving my energy back to the soil, to the humus, right? That's when you can take it and eat it. Now that energy is pure because it's given out willingly, right? Rather than taking it yourself forcefully and generating bad karma. Because killing an organism, bad energy spirals, and energy of fear then spirals out like that. Then every good energy is consumed, spiraling like this. Fear brings bad karma, right? So imagine eating that kind of flesh that has accumulated so much karma, fear energy in it. What will your cells be made out of, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, that everybody is a sinner. We're here, we have lost our ways, we're doing things because of evolution, because of civilization, and we just do not listen to our heart selves, and it's okay. We human beings are allowed to make mistakes, but then if we get such messages, let's try to correct them. I'm not saying that I'm willing to eat dead animals, yeah, but then I'm willing to eat fruits that have fallen from the ground. And we're going back to the part where I said, always listen to your intuition, always listen to your higher self. Do not do things just because somebody else has said it. Right now I'm saying that trees should be the ones which let the fruits fall onto the ground for humans to consume. But I'm not saying that go and do it because I said so. It will come to you. When the time is right, it will happen. But then don't do it on my account, right? Do it because you want to do it. Right now, I don't even know where to begin eating a dead animal. But then, however this thing will play out, let me just let it play out. I shouldn't force it. I should let it happen on its own, right? But then for now, I've learned what is and what isn't. I acknowledge the information and I feel like it resonates with my soul. If it doesn't resonate with yours, it's okay. Just ignore the information, okay? And do what resonates with you, right? Good example. When a human dies, humans don't want to be eaten, humans don't want to be killed, humans don't want to be taken, don't want their things taken from them. But then, when they die, their flesh is eaten by other organisms. The air, worms, vultures, birds, and all that. A vulture will not come to you and eat you while you're still alive. Will eat you until you die. Vultures are such holy creatures, guys. They are such holy creatures because they know exactly how this energy is transferred from one being to another. They will not eat a thing while it's still alive. They let it give out its energy willingly. I still have to study these animals as to how they came about knowing such a deep and controversial insight, right? So I'm just saying that we're all sinners here, and it's okay. It's because of the ego that we have accumulated. It's okay. Nobody is crucifying anyone. What I'm just saying is just choose what you feel like is a better sin, right? According to you, because it's a better sin according to you. To the next person, it might be the worst sin, right? So choose it, stick to it, and do it in your corner. Don't go around preaching it and say that the other person is doing something wrong and you're the one who's doing something right? Just do your thing, let it work for you, resonate with your soul, listen to your soul, be happy, and do not criticize or demonize the next person. Stay in your lane. I always say that. Stay in your lane and be happy. Good day.